Hey, good morning, all. So happy Tuesday. We're going to try something new today, or we're going to learn something new. I suspect that we have never probably worked with warrants and argument before. And before we get too far down the trail, I will say this: they're not easy. They're not easy to learn. They're not easy to teach. I think they take some time to kind of understand. And so, I want you to truly view this as an introduction, and I also want you to truly view this as just practice. All right. And so, here are your task instructions. Well, first, a warrant is just that underlying connection between our claim and our evidence, and why the evidence supports the claim. It's really kind of an interesting dynamic because we can have, a solid claim and solid evidence, but that doesn't necessarily mean that our opponent, okay, is going to accept our warrant. And that is that underlying kind of logic between our claim and our evidence. And we have to remember this: a claim is just an opinion, folks. All right. And even if we provide evidence, it doesn't change the fact that it's just an opinion. All right. Evidence doesn't transport our claim or our opinion to fact. All right. We just try to substantiate or support our claims with compelling evidence. Okay. And so oftentimes, when people reject our argument or refute or rebut our argument, it's around the warrant itself, not necessarily the claim or the evidence, though they're linked. All right. And so, with that, I'd like you to read this article. It's not very long. It's called "The Art of the Warrant: Connecting Evidence to Claim." So please click on that, read the article, and then I need you to practice down below. All right. I did an example with homework again. That's what I've been using. Okay, and so the issue is homework. Here's my claim or my thesis. School should no longer require students to do homework. All right. My reason or my evidence for that, and that answers the question why or how. Teachers cannot adequately support students learning outside of school. All right. Um, I'm going to change that to just student learning. It wasn't wrong the way it was, but I think I'm just going to, change that to student learning. It's like how it sounds better. Teachers cannot adequately support student learning outside of school. All right. Now, this assumes that you accept or someone accepts kind of the underlying logic that's underneath that. Okay. Students need teachers, and my warrant is students need teachers. Geez, I can't talk today. I'm so sorry. Students need teacher support to learn, and that best happens at school. So that's the underlying kind of logic or assumption there. School should be at school because that's where teachers are. Students need teachers to support their learning, and that best happens at school. That is kind of the underlying logic um, um, with my claim and my reason. You'll see in his article he calls it a bridge. All right. Between your claim and your evidence. Okay, and so that's really what a warrant becomes, is a bridge. So down here below, I provided three tables. All right, it goes on to the next page here, as you can see. I want you to use the same three issues that you have been using, that go all the way back to when we started this work with looking at issues. All right, so they should still be the same three. It's okay if you change them, I suppose, but either way, I want these to be issues you care about. Ideally, they would be the same three issues. Okay, and so you're going to make your claim. You're going to give your reason. All right, which is again another statement that answers the question why. And then you're going to try to figure out what your warrant is, okay? And you're going to try to articulate that as best you can, okay? And again, it's just practice, all right? So I need you to give it an honest shot, all right? And if nothing else, I want you to start thinking about, like, what is the logic that connects my claim in my evidence? What am I assuming that my audience will not only know but possibly accept? All right, if I'm going to persuade them, this then gives me an opportunity to really think about what maybe is going to work and what's not going to work. Okay, for example, if your reason for wanting a phone is because all the other kids at school have a phone, all right, um, your parents aren't necessarily going to accept the warrant, okay, that just because other kids have it, you need to have it. All right. And so that's something to think about. Okay. Again, this is hard. I think it's complicated. Okay. And so I'm just asking you to kind of find your way through it and do your best, all right? And please ask for help, and I'll do the best that I can, okay? So let's learn a little bit about warrants today. Happy Tuesday, my friends.